Hello Half-Life Nation, at least those of you who wing foil. This video is going to be about unboxing the new Armstrong Wing Foil board. I'm pretty excited. This one's 70 liters, and as a special bonus, I'm going to compare it to the Wing SUP Board, the 75 liter that I've been using. And I couldn't be more excited. See, I got my Lahaina shirt on. Our people over there in Lahaina are still suffering. Don't forget about them. With that said, find a way to support. If you need any ideas, just ping us. So excited to be here to tell you about this board. You'll notice here, this is the box. It came to me. I know this board came out a little while ago, but I wanted to show you what comes inside the box. You'll notice there's a little damage from shipping up here. I'm not overly concerned about it because Armstrong, when they pack these boards for shipment, do some of the best packing that I've seen in the industry. Well, we're going to put it to the test here because it looks like FedEx might have let it bang a little bit. But you know, buy it from your local dealer. Usually they'll unpack it for you and help you do it. If you don't buy it from your local dealer, buy it from me because we can really use your support. Oh, by the way, it's been 5 years we've been making these videos. Thank you so much for all of your support. Really appreciate it. All right, let's get into it. So one of the premises about this board, the Wing SUP Board, was a hybrid, and so it was designed for people to go ahead and to wing foil on it, but you also might want to SUP, paddle into some waves. So as we get inside the box, this one is 100% for wingers. One of the tricks that I found in terms of getting these out of the box, so go ahead, lift the box up, have it on a soft surface, turn it upside down, and just lift up. Now you can see the board took a little bit of damage here, at least the outside padding, but that's okay. Should be relatively good, well protected. You notice that it's nice cardboard on the inside. And over the years, you know, I used to put more foam and everything in here, but just be a little bit more environmentally conscious. I switched over to use this cardboard that comes from recycled goods. Are you ready? You ready for this? Check this out. Oh yeah, it's so good. This is the new bag for these Armstrong boards, and I gotta tell you, I've had great success. If we are traveling around the world with these Armstrong bags, I've probably done, I don't know, 10 plus trips. You know, that's just the ones on a plane versus this one. But I think the really interesting thing is, this is the Wing SUP bag that I have in Alaska Airlines. I've been able to travel with it to Maui when I ride it, Mexico, all over the place. This has been a great bag for me. I don't just go with the bag. You know, I'll go ahead and put some extra foam and other things to protect the edges when it travels. But you can see here in the new bag, there's a texture difference. And I don't know if this will come across on video or not. This almost has a plastic sheen to it. And I'm gonna guess that over time, I won't be able to tell until, you know, I use it over time. But over time, I think it's gonna pick up less dirt. You know, this once upon a time, I don't think it was quite this color, but it was more that color. Personally, I don't really care too much. All I want it to do is protect the board, but you can see it's been well used. This thing has held up, the handles have held up. This is the Wing SUP 75. We'll pull that out there in a second. Now, this is what it's looking like. And Armstrong always does these nice details. You can see a nice soft padded handle here at the top. I sometimes hang my board by that, by the way. This handle here, and of course, you got the shoulder strap for walking through the airport. You know, for me, typically it's gonna look like this. And then I'll have my Armstrong golf bag that has all my foil kits as well as my wings packed into it as well. All right, let's get inside this bag and see what we have. Now, one of the reasons we're able to ship these boards all over the country and frankly, all over the world, because Half-Life has customers in Canada, Mexico, and other regions as well, is that this type of packing really does an excellent job of protecting. I can tell you right now from feeling the nose, despite that outer box having a little bit of a hit to it, I think it's gonna be nicely protected. A little extra foam over the top. When I'm using a box cutter here, just a pro tip for you, because I open a lot of board boxes, I'm really, so very, very light touch, because I don't want to scratch a brand new board. Now, the interesting thing about this board, these boards coming in at a price point now, in my opinion, make Armstrong much more accessible for a lot of people. This board right here is just about $1,800 for the 70 liter. You know, back when Armstrong first started coming out with these boards, it was closer, it was like $2,200-$2,300. So the WS, the Wing SUP board behind me, that 75 liter has gone down. It's about $1,500 bucks, a little bit less than that. Oh yeah, perfect. I always like when I get out of the box, I'll go around all the rails just to check them, to make sure everything came through great. There you go. So if you're a dedicated wing foiler, you're gonna want this board, because you don't have like the extra width that's on that Wing SUP. You're still getting a lot of float. What they did, this is just 5'2". I'm just under 6 feet. I'm really like 5'10", but I like to say I'm like 6 foot. But anyways, this is about 5'2". And for me, I weigh 185 pounds right now. I'm trying to bring it back down to 175, guys. You know, what are you gonna do? But I'll tell you this, at 70, 75 liters for me is really nice as an all-around liter count. You know, because here in Seattle, our wind goes up and our wind goes down. So the last thing I wanna be doing is like falling into the water when the gust finally gets to me. I need to be able to hang out for about 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, sometimes tripoding myself on the wing foil. If I go to Maui, I'm catching, like on the 75, which is even a little bit bigger than this, I'm catching nice big waves, wing foil behind me, it's all good in the hood. When you get down to the sinker boards, you need steadier wind to be able to keep you having fun. And so if the wind is steady, go for it. If you want to work a little bit to get up, go for it. But if you're looking for an all-rounder and you weigh 180 pounds, 70. For me, I can go 65 or 60 liters and I'm still not sinking all the way down. I can balance it pretty well. If I go below 60, then I'm in the sinker zone and I'm gonna have to work a little bit to get it up and going. But anyways, okay, back to this. Here it is, 70 liters. What they did is they pulled in the rails, making this a little bit more narrow. And they took that liter count, made it a little bit thicker to bring it in. Now it still has the Armstrong pad, one of the best, I think, in the industry. And if you're a wing foiler, you know what it's like to rip up your knees, getting on your knees for a second, sometimes for a longer period of time if the wind isn't that good. So you want to have a good pad. This is a good pad, nice rails. I really like this little bump back here. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little bump, and what that bump does is it goes ahead and just tells you where your foot is, gives you that tactile feedback. Gone is the carbon track pad that we used to have on the older boards here. It's nice just having one big piece to go along with it. And then really the hallmark of Armstrong, I think, is, you know, this board weighs about 11 pounds. And so it is this weight to performance ratio. So you get durability. You see killer riders like Cash, I love you Cash, that are out there and they're jumping and they bring these boards down hard, and you know, if they weren't strong, they would break, but they're strong. And so this is 11 pounds. It is about 2 pounds lighter than the WS, the Wing SUP board behind me that is 75 liters. And I'll pull that one out so we can do a comparison side by side. For me, this is gonna be my daily driver. It's my go-to around the Seattle area with up and down winds. I actually prefer this size. What I've found through just doing a bunch of travel is that smaller boards tend to do better, because the people who are lifting those board bags up and putting them down, it's not as hard for them, and so they're going to be a little bit more gentle. So for me, the smaller the board when I travel, the better. You'll notice that there's something missing up here, the handle. And I gotta tell you, I have mixed emotions on it. It used to be a through pass handle, and some people were catching their toes or water would shoot up. I think technically maybe a little less, you know, hydrodynamic as you're getting up. I like having it on both sides, but you know, they didn't ask me. This handle on the back is really nice. Kind of tucks in, has a ledge, so it's not going to slip out of your hand when the wind hits you. So nice and steady. And you can see the carbon tracks here from Armstrong. And this is what I meant, the hallmark, that strength to weight. Having these carbon tracks means you can pump. And when you're wing foiling, the times that's important to pump is when you're coming out of a jibe and you don't quite have that wind to get back to the next one. I know you guys in the gorge and you guys in Maui like, Tim, what are you talking about? Because you never experienced this. Well, for the rest of us, we're in these areas where our wind goes up and down. And so yeah, we're accelerating into that turn and we're having to pump to get back to the wind line. And so having a nice light board that hits that performance and having it stiff really matters for us. You know, it's funny, you don't see many videos of us on these lakes just suffering to get by. Well, I'll tell you what, this technology helps a lot. So let me go ahead and I'll pull out the 75 liter board and we'll look at them side by side. I have loved this board. This board for me has been a daily driver. It's 75 liters. Of course, I have the half-life sticker on there. This does have the handle up top and it has a handle on the bottom. It's relatively light. We're talking 13 pounds. I found like this extra width was really nice, and I can go ahead and stand on this. This is a Wing, just for clarity, because I know Armstrong's coming out with a bunch of boards. This is a Wing SUP board. So let's check this out. The 75, the trusted 75 is behind it. And look at that difference in terms of the width and the size. I mean, this tells you the whole story right here. I think this will come across, but just in case, I don't know how to do it any better. You're looking at both sides are just much more narrow. And look at this. This is a 75 liter, it's 5.25. This one's 5.1. It's shorter. Not only is it shorter, it's also materially less wide. So they pull in these rails, and what that does is they packed all the liter count inside of a smaller amount. 5 liters is nothing in terms of comparing 75 versus 70. This will float me the exact same way, but I get so much less space. And what that means is less real and perceived swing weight when I'm out there, and more good times. You notice here on the bottom shapes of these two things, if I can hold them here in a way that you can see it, it brings in a lot more in the back here on this wing foil board versus the Wing SUP. And that's just part of the evolution of the sport of foiling. You know, we're starting to see those downwinder boards and those designs start to get pulled into the boards. Similar to Armstrong's mid-length board, which is really a hybrid that helps you if you're somebody who prone foils and you want a wing foil. That's a great board to look at. There's some other uses too. But once again, look at the back of that versus the back of this. So ultimately, which one of these boards is for you? If you're gonna be a Wing SUP guy, like if you're gonna SUP and paddle into waves, here's your board. If you're just a wing foil person and starting, this might not be a bad option, you know, because it's a little bit wider. Just the fact that it's wider, it has to be a little bit more stable. But I would encourage you to go here with the wing foil board. This is the latest and greatest in terms of shape for a pure wing foil board from Armstrong. And I gotta tell you, I rode it back down at AWSI last summer. I'm gonna ride this thing today. Today's forecast in Seattle is looking like 20-mile-an-hour winds, which means there's gonna be times when it's 25 and times that it's 2. So I need something to balance it. This is gonna be it. I hope this is helpful for you. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We're always happy to talk to you. Our contact information is here at the end of the video. Thank you so much for being a part of the Half-Life Nation, for watching our videos. Please subscribe. It helps us, and helping us allows us to keep making videos for you. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Get out there on foil, whether you're gonna wing SUP on a WS, whether you wanna wing on either one of these boards. Get out there and do it. If you ever need lessons or anything else, you know where to find us. Reach out. It's been really nice seeing you again, and thanks so much. You.